Wednesday, May 24th, 10:40 Mountain Time, 2017. Massive landslide buries a third of a mile of the iconic Highway 1 that runs up and down the entire coast of California. The land maps of the coast of California are going to have to be updated. But before we act too quickly, I think I would hold off because I think there's going to be more of these events. The event you just saw right there happened right here. Fairly steep part of the terrain. This is what gave way, and all of it went right out here into the ocean. So yeah, the geography of the coastline has changed forever, no doubt about it. But looking at some of this landmass that's all been through the same stress, you got to keep in mind what's happened over here in the past several years, and it's intensified in the last few months, courtesy of all of those atmospheric rivers. And trust me, I haven't forgot these things. I watched every one of these things come in astonishment. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, just one after another. It was truly a record-setting event, and there's still evidence of it up in the Sierra Nevada mountains just waiting to melt. Plus, they had an initial flood that they dealt with, ended up damaging Oroville Spillway. They haven't recovered from that yet. So the land, the people that live on the land, and the ecosystem in general has been through a lot. And that's not even counting the drought. That's just from the atmospheric rivers. This is a byproduct of all of that. And to be honest, these mountains have landslides all the time. You just don't hear of it unless it covers an iconic highway or gets in a neighborhood. But these things, that's just part of their nature. That's how they move. That's how they adjust. It's part of how the architectures of Earth work. But when it covers a big highway like that, then it's a big deal. And that was a big landslide. But there's going to be more come. They're going to be south of this area, Mud Creek. Just take a look and see. Very steep here. Extremely almost vertical here. And remember, this land has been through a lot of stress. So it's going to change. That's just the way it is. When things are stressed, they change. So this here is probably going to be an interesting area too. But there are a few people, like there's a family, it looks like, that lives right here. They can no longer access this road. They've got one way now, in and out of their home, unless they have a helicopter. So hold off on updating the maps, even though they have changed forever. I think there's going to be more change to come. Interesting times we're living in, but the atmospheric rivers, I think, are one of the main motivators of that situation right there. And I want to talk real quick about the Yerington flood that was changed by the National Weather Service. Their forecast was predicting a historic flood of unheard of proportions, and then within 24 hours, it went away, and just a minor flooding event, which is great. That's wonderful news. But I know better that the guys at the National Weather Service don't make errors that big. I mean, come on, what if they made an error and it was 3 feet in the other direction over what they'd forecast, and people weren't prepared? People prepare, and they listen to the National Weather Service, okay? So they can't afford to make mistakes that big. Like I said, if they were 2 or 3 inches off, that's, come on, that's understandable. But a 3-foot change, I knew something was up. And just to make a long story short, a lady that lives here in this area, lives in Yerington, in fact, they've been sandbagging for days. And apparently, the day that the forecast changed was the day that they came up here with some heavy equipment. And they are diverting the water, because here's the situation. The Sierra Nevadas run here. There's going to be melting runoff go on the east side into Nevada, and on the west side down into California. Well, this particular event is going on the east side down into Nevada. So what they've done is they've came up here, and they're diverting some of that water into Lake Topaz. That's where the 3 foot went. I knew those guys didn't make a error like that. No, they're too good. I have a lot of respect for those guys. They're very good at what they do. So anyway, that's the deal. They're diverting water into Lake Topaz. And there's some other reservoirs that they may have to use if this gets filled up too quickly, because it's warm up there. And the UV is high. UV is up there, so it's going to melt quicker. That's where the 3 foot of water went. I knew it didn't just vanish into thin air. I didn't think so. But the California coastline maps need to be updated. They've changed forever. Highway 1 has changed forever. It's now 2 highways instead of 1. And the maps, before you update them, guys, I would hold off, because I have a feeling it's going to happen again. During these uncertain times, I encourage you to be brave, be strong, be wise, and be ready. Thanks for watching, guys.